Referee lines the boys up at the middle. Puck drop. Controlled by the Trojans at center ice. Burley sends it back to his defense. Out the far side, but missed. And now the Trojans in the neutral zone get it driven right back in by the reps. Around the outside, up the boards in front of the bench. Here comes Burley. He makes a move. And Trojans not able to get it in. So far, pretty much a neutral zone battle. Off of Fogelman's stick just inside the red line, all the way back behind the Reps goalie. And now the Reps pick it up behind their net and come around on the near side by me. Taken off a stick. Chipped into the neutral zone by Soper. Reps work it. They're saying that was off the Rep player, so no icing. We send it around the boards, reverse it. Luke Harvey's got to pick that up. He misses the backhand. Chipped up but not out. Reps drive it back in off the glass. Harv picks it up, sends it around. Humphreys makes it there and just chips it out. Reps work it in their end. Send it to the neutral zone. White with a nice pass. Send it up. And this will be an icing. We get a whistle, and the face-off will end up back in the Trojan end. All right, we'll get a face-off to the left of Kimbrell. Battle for the puck. Reps come out with it. Shot toward the net. Steered up into the high glass. Not out. Behind the net. Up the boards. Kept in at the circle. Very physical game so far. Reps not able to control it. Now they pick it back up. Back to the point. Shot toward the net. Missed Kimbrell completely. Whiff on the rebound shot, and Evan Blazak chases that down. Reps put it back in the neutral zone. Calvin Klusherman was checked off the puck. He's out there with Conaway. Conaway gets in front of the shot. Shot toward Kimbrell, knocked down with his shoulder. Now the puck kept in right at the line, but oh! Fogelman just missed it. He'd have been gone. Klusherman's got it. He looks. Reverses it to Fogelman. Fogelman on the boards. Chips it high. Out. Brought back in by the Trojans. And Blazak gets smacked by two players. Double team. Loses the puck. We check up on sides. Reps. Long pass through the middle. Icing. That puck will come all the way back into the Rep end. 13:52, first period. Shots on goal. 2 for the Reps, none for the Traverse City Trojans. Face off to the left of the Reps goalie. Won by Traverse City. Kept in by Burley. Shot in. Burley picks up a shoot in. Comes all the way around to the point. Soper just not able to keep it in. Dumps it back in. Traverse City checks up. Reps first to the puck. Kept in. Oh, these numbers are so hard to read. Fogelman kept it in. Goes back through the middle and out. Soper's got it. He goes cross ice. We dump it back in. Reps pick it up. Send it right back into the neutral zone. Soper able to get it in, right back out. Now Burkholder's got it. He hits Soap. Soap mishandles the puck, gives it up to number 6 for the Reps. They bring it back in, back to the point. Far side, kept in, great pass, shot, high and wide. Bounces behind the net, and we've got a whistle. Cross check, I'm assuming that's coming to the Trojans. And who's going to the box? Ah, that's not normal. Burkholder with the first penalty of the game, a cross check. 12:56, your Trojans will be down by 1. Face off to the left of Kimbrough, one by the reps. They come near side by me at the point, back to the middle. Far side, top of the circle, shot. Wide, off of Kimbrough's pad. Reps keep it in. Reps come up on this side. Shot blocked by, I believe that was Luke Harvey. He's grabbing his chest. That had to hurt. Reps through the middle. They go to the far side. Near side by me. Shot low. Nice shot. Kimbrough made the stop but gave up the rebound. Reps keep it in. Another shot. High off the glass. Reps keep it in at the point. Dump it deep. Middle of the circle, shot into the chest of Kimbrough. He holds on. We get a whistle. Good job, Jace. Way to hang on to that puck. So with 1:22 left in the penalty, 12:18 left in the period. Face off to the right of Kimbrough, behind the net. Picked up by White. White not able to handle it clean. It ended up on Blazak's stick. He dumps it all the way out there. Conaway out there with White on defense on the penalty kill. All right, that's new. Reps bring it in. Conaway keeps his man to the outside. They go back to the point. Trojans try to get in the box. We double team. Conaway picks it up, and White comes in and drives that one out. Great play by the two defensemen. Actually, that was Fogelman. 21-12. I can't see the numbers well. So now it goes around to White behind the net. He looks hard up the boards. And the Trojans just not able to get that one out. Shot toward Kimbrough, wide. Second effort, Kimbrough. Conaway steers it off to the side. Trojans high up and out of the zone all the way down. 19 seconds left in the penalty kill for the Trojans. Shot blocked by Klusterman. Trojans pick it up in front of the net. Backhander knocked down, and we clear it all the way down. That should do it for the PK. Great penalty kill by the Trojans. Reps come through the middle. Cross the red line. They bring it in. And offsides the lineman calls. And we'll get a face-off on the far side of the neutral zone right in front of the Trojan bench. Face off. Brought in by the reps. Knocked right back out by Burkholder. And the Trojans dump it deep. Graham Peters goes behind the net. It's sent all the way around. Soper gets it in the neutral zone. Off a leg, it hits a stanchion. We'll get a whistle. Face off should be in the neutral zone as that went off one of the rep sticks straight up into the rafters. Graham Peters take this face off with Fogelman and I think that's Burley over there. It is. Burley checks his man off the puck. Reps drive it all the way around behind our net. Kimbrough settles it down. We reverse it. Chipped up to Peters. Peters makes the neutral zone. Nice pass across to Fogelman. Fogelman centers it to Peters. Peters with a one-timer. What a great play! Holy mackerel, the goalie for the reps. That's Boynton Fisher. Made pretty much an NHL save right there. Perfect centering pass by Fogelman to Peters. Peters with a no-miss one-timer. And Boynton Fisher was able to get over and stop that shot. All right, Trojans in their own end. Chip it up and out. Reps pick it up in the neutral zone. They go across, far side. High dump in, into the corner. Centering pass, goes to the far outside, slap shot, into the glove of Kimbrough. He hangs on. Nice play by Jace Kimbrough. So with 9:29 left in the first period, we'll get a face-off to the left of Kimbrough. Reps win it. They go back to the line, hit the corner right in front of the bench, set it up the side of the circle. Missed, shot, blocked. Trojans control it, look, time. Again, I'm missing numbers. That was Blazak brought it in. Rodenroth with him. It goes back to the point. We force the pass to the middle and dump it right back in. Reps. Pick it up. Neutral zone. Pass up. Picked up by, I think that was Luke Harvey. It is. He sent it in behind the net. Reps to the corner. And Harvey ends up with it in our zone again. So Harv up the glass, long pass off one of the reps. He tries to go out. Kept in by Beatty. Beatty chases down. He gets it behind the net. He sends it up. Kloosterman able to get there and keep it in. Beatty back behind the net. Hands it off for Conaway on the far point. Picks it up. Sends it back in deep. Conaway's got to back up. Keeps it in with his hand. Conaway gets tied up. And the Trojans have to get back on defense. This Reps bringing it. Shot wide of Kimbrough. They pick it up at the top of the circles by the boards. Wrap it around the net. Come in. Reps moving the puck pretty well here. One too many moves. Golly, what in the world we got? Who's getting the penalty now, Josh? Is that Peters going to the box? Another player that has almost 0 penalties this season in the box, Graham Peters. So with 7:55 in the first, the Trojans will go back on the PK. Conaway and somebody on D, and I'll give you the forwards as soon as I can see their numbers. Davison, and it looks like Fogelman. Davidson able to slap that out. It looks like Burley's up front also. He puts a little pressure on, but plays conservatively. Forces a man to the outside who dumps it back. And here come the Reps into our zone. Shot from a bad angle. Easily knocked out by Kimbrough. Back to the middle. Off to the top of the circle on the left side of Kimbrough. Into his pads. Puck cleared by, I couldn't tell if that was Conaway or Davison. Shot toward Kimbrough into his gloves. We get a whistle, and we're going to get a wholesale line change. So with 1:16 left in this penalty kill for the Trojans, face off in our end, back to the point. Shot toward the net, off a skate. Dumped hard around. Trojans not able to get to it. Now we do. Oh, right into the leg of one of the Bay Rep players, kept in. Bay Reps handle the puck. Burkholder fights. He blocks the pass. That allowed, I believe, that Soper to pick it up. Soper dumps it all the way to puck. Oh, boy, Fisher had to come out. The puck took a weird bounce off the net, and Fogelman almost first man there. Reps come through the middle, enter our zone. Blazak plays hard off of Burkholder's skate. Messes up the pass. Reps able to control it. They dump it in deep. A lot of pressure by the Trojans. Shot from the point. Saw all the way by Kimbrough. Steered aside. Now the Reps trying to get Kimbrough off his spot. Shot from a bad angle. Wide. Kimbrough slides over. And the Reps curl in the corner. They go all the way back to the point. Just kept in. Glove down, that's a hand pass. Yeah, the ref caught that one. Glove down by the Reps player, right onto the stick of one of his teammates. That draws a hand pass, and with 7 seconds in the PK, that should do it for the kill. Trojans playing great defense today. If we can go this last 7 seconds, knocking out 2 power plays for the Reps. Face off behind the reps goal, picked up by the Trojans. Burley checked off the puck, gets right back on it. Penalty over, we're back to full strength. Trojans pick up the puck, they handle it behind the goal line, jump it in deep, it's going to come all the way around to Klusterman. He steps in, shot toward the net, bad angle, knocked down by Boynton Fisher. Off of one of the Trojan sticks and all the way down and around. Reps pick it up in the middle. Chipped off a stick by, who was that? That's got to be Klusterman with a great stick there. Fogelman to Klusterman. Klusterman with a shot off of Boynton Fisher's gloves. Fogelman was there to try to tip that in, but Boynton Fisher got down on that puck quick enough that he couldn't get to it. All right, face off to the left of Boynton Fisher, my right. Face off, controlled by the Trojans. And as Conaway, there's that Harv, shoots it in. Picked up by Beatty. That was White, actually. Sorry, the numbers are just messing with me. I can't read them. Dumped in deep. Trojans will chase that down. It's come around to the point. White steps in, keeps it in with a skate. Now second effort past him. It's 2 Trojans and 1 rep. Send it down behind the net. Trojans able to chip it up. Beatty slammed hard into the boards, but he got the puck out. Weaver gets it in the zone. And Conaway keeps it in at the line, dumps it all the way around. Gonna allow the Trojans to get to it at the point, keep it in. And now, kept it again! Burkholder with a couple of great keep-ins. Boynton Fisher plays that out of the crease, pretty much in the trapezoid, but I believe the Reps players were getting tired and they wanted a whistle. So Burkholder and Soper back. Sent all the way around. Burkholder not able to keep that in. Soper's got a race. Centering pass just out of the reach of number 7 for the Reps. It comes around. Burkholder's going to get to that. He chips it up. He hit one of the Trojans just up to the line, not out. Backhander toward Kimbrell, wide of the net. Trojans with time. Now long pass all the way up to Davison. It went in. What's the whistle now? Penalty? Oh, one of the Reps is going to the box for a slash. We will take it with 3:34 left in the first period. Shots on goal slightly uneven, 13-4 in favor of the Reps. All right, Graham Peters takes this face off. Fogelman and Soper back. Reps high off the glass. This puck will make it all the way down. Trojans through the neutral zone. Make the Reps end. Dump it in deep behind the net. Reps first one to it. Sent all the way around. Nobody there. Weaver hits Peters. Peters sends it in. Far side pass. Just knocked out. Reps with a good stick work there. Peters gets it, or Fogelman gets it again. Fogelman through the neutral zone, brings it in on sides. Fogelman with a move, checked off the puck. And the Trojans dumping people. Fogelman's going to go to the box for a good cross check right in front of the net. I'm not going to give Xander too much crap for that one. He was battling hard right in front of the net. And the Reps player went down, which drew the attention, and the ref calls a cross check on Fogelman. So not good that we don't get to finish out the last minute 8 of our power play, but trust me when I tell you, there is a lot of emotion in this game. A lot of these boys have played hockey on the same teams together when they were younger. Now they beat the crap out of each other. A lot of them are good friends, and they all want to win. All right, face-off. Collected by the rep. Shot toward Kimbrell. Knocked down by the Trojans. Blazak gets it. Far side pass. Nice. He hit Rodenroth. Rodenroth comes in. He's checked off the puck and pinned on the boards. Reps send it out. And Klusterman stepped in to try to intercept that. He's got to get back. He does. He knocked that pass out of the air. What a great back check by Klusterman. Off of Burkholder's stick funny. Now Rodenroth gets it in. Reps able to get it right back out. This will be an icing. And the puck will come all the way down back into the reps end. 23 seconds of 4-on-4. And then the reps will be up by 1 for just under a minute. So the puck drop will be to the left of Boynton Fisher, my right, in front of the fans. Face off, won by the reps, but it comes back to Harv. Harv drives it in. Picked up by the Trojans, back to the middle, kept in. Shot toward the net, high and wide. That was Graham Peters. Took everything he had to keep it in, so he just rifled it toward the net. Now the reps come through the middle. Fast and hard, make a move, tipped off a stick, back up, picks it up, back to the point. Far side middle, off a stick, reps, able to get it to the point again. Trojans in the box formation. Reps go to the far side, we're on them fast. Peters intercepts the cross ice pass, 30 seconds left in the penalty kill. To the middle, reps shoot, blocked by somebody high over the outside. And the Trojans able to send that all the way down and out. Boynton Fisher with a quick pass to the middle. We had a slow line change there. I don't know what happened, but it took us a while to get on the ice. Reps working it around the outside. Back to the line. Top of the left circle. And Soper with a check. Drives his man off the puck. Chip back in, circle. Oh, who was that? That was Fogelman. Read the pass all the way, intercepted it, and him and Burley almost had a shorthand breakaway. And as the puck gets chipped out of play, we get a whistle with 40 seconds left in the period, and we are back at full strength. So it looks like Conaway and Klusterman back. We'll finish up with Weaver, Davison, and I believe that's Beatty up front. Puck out by the reps. We send it back. Reps send it in. Kimbrell steers it aside. Reverse to Conaway. Conaway hit Fogelman. Nice tip pass by Fogelman to Davidson. Davidson far side to Weaver. Weaver looks. He hits Conaway. Conaway races in. Conaway shoots it over the top of the net. Son of a gun. I thought he was going to pull it off. Ugh. So the reps battle to get it out, not able. We're dropping bodies. Now the reps got a good stick on it, and they'll back us up. The horn blows. I'm going to grab a mic. I'm going to go talk to Coach. We'll be back for the second. With me here between the first and second, Coach. We're getting outshot, but it seems like we're playing solid defense. 2 penalty kills with very few shots. What do you see in that first period?
Yeah, I think they've got a good team, good goalie down there, and they work extremely hard. So we have to stay out of the penalty box. It's plain and simple. Both penalties were bad penalties on our part, and they had a bunch of shots on the power plays, but doing a decent job of keeping sticks in the lanes on the backside and not giving up anything too dangerous. So perimeter shots are fine. It looks like Jace has, got a good look at them. So, but yeah, we got to find a way to get more shots, and that'll help if you stay out of the penalty box.
So Kimbrough looks pretty solid today. He's playing a great game. But on the other end, I mean, we had a setup from Fogelman to Peters. Peters with the one-timer. As far as I'm concerned, Boynton Fisher pretty much made an NHL save there. I don't know how he got over.
Yeah, it's a great save, and again, he's a very good goalie. I don't care about what the whole state champs wall award and all that stuff on social media says about who the top goalies are in the state. Tyler Boynton Fisher is one of the top goalies in the state, trust me. And
I've watched it for a lot of years.
The guys, the top goalies, they make saves like that. So whether or not he's in the discussion on the state champs level or anywhere else, my personal opinion is he's one of the best goalies in the state.
Coach, I greatly appreciate your time. Obviously, you know how excited and emotional I am about the Vets Cup game today. I got 4 buddies up there watching the whole thing. Cash getting to wear a couple of different jerseys today. Tell me what you think about the Vets Cup game today. What's it mean to you?
Well, I think it's important no matter what you do with high school age athletes, any sport. I think there's always going to be value in them being a part of something that's bigger than themselves and certainly bigger than their sport. And, when this is all said and done, one team's going to win and one team's going to lose. But, to have so many veterans here today and, that pregame ceremony with taps and everything, like, if that doesn't put a lump in your throat, then I don't know what will. But, yeah, great event, and I'm glad that we can do this and help support the Mid-Michigan Honor Flights.
Coach, thanks for your time. I'm going to try to talk to Coach Matucci between the second and third, but I'll come find you at the end of the game. Go give the boys a kick in the rear end. Let's get a win here, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Sorry about the delay. Got distracted by some veterans. Start of the second. We're controlling the puck in the reps end. Peters with a shot off the shoulder of Boynton Fisher all the way around. Soap steps up to keep that in. Picked up by Fogelman. Fogelman shoots through the legs of Burley. And Boynton Fisher able to pick that puck off and keep it out of the net. So with 16:24 second period, we will get Weaver, Beatty, and Davison out there with Kloosterman and Conaway back. Face-off controlled by the Trojans. Kloosterman sends it behind the net. Picked up by Beatty. Who's getting a cross check? Us? You gotta be kidding me. Well, that was a pretty weak call on Weaver. And the offensive end on the corner of the net, I don't even know what to say about that one. So that'll put the face-off to the left of Boynton Fisher. Peters, Conaway, Kloosterman, and I'll give you the fourth one. I see his number. Face-off, 1, Kloosterman, all the way around. Davison, not able to chip it out. It goes around to the far side, into the middle. Near side by me, back to the middle. Pass not handled. And I believe that was Graham Peters reached out with a long stick and sent that out. So Davison, Peters, Conaway, and Kloosterman out there. Kloosterman keeps his man to the outside. He blasts by him. Conaway picks him up, forces the puck around the outside behind the goal line. Conaway tries to tie his man up. It ends up back to the point. Trojans, nice box. Shot blocked. Graham Peters picks it up, sends it all the way down. Boynton Fisher's got to play it in the crease. Trojans, line change. Kloosterman was on the far side. He didn't check up. Peters missed the puck in the neutral zone. Reps able to get it in. Shot! Over Kimbrough's glove into the top of the net. And with 48 seconds left in the penalty kill, the Reps are on the board 1-0 against the Trojans. Very tight game here, and it's going to be a game of inches, and you cannot let a player take 4 steps in and get a shot off like that. Now the Trojans, Blazak loses it in the neutral zone. Reps with some momentum here, going around the outside into the middle off a stick, high over the netting and into the mezzanine. Face off to the right of Kimbrough. Reps kicked out of the circle. Face off, controlled by the Trojans. Kept in at the line by the Reps, dumped in deep. And off the boards by Rodenroth and out. Reps not able to clear it. They send it around. Trojans pick it up. Shot toward the net. High, wide. Gonna make it to the top of the circle. White standing on the point. Looks. Oh, just over his stick it bounced. He was ready. Bad bounce. Harvey sends it through the middle off a stick. Reps able to clear. White gets it. White goes behind the net to Harv. Harv goes back to White. White lets it go. And we get it out. That was Rodenroth. And the Reps dump it right back in. Rodenroth's got to chase that down. He sends it toward the top of the circle. The Reps at the point. Shot wide of the net. Fogelman chases down. Gets his stick in the way from the shot in. Reps pick it up. Back to the point. Reps shot. Blocked again by Fogelman. Here we go. This should be a 2-on-1. Fogelman and Rodenroth. Reps come back. Centering pass by Fogelman. And one of our players, I believe that was Xander Fogelman, ended up making contact with Boynton Fisher. He's down without a helmet off, asking the ref, what the heck? And the referees are going to go talk in the corner. I don't think there should be a penalty. Fogelman was driven into the net. The referee's going to go to the box. Is he making a call? No, he's looking for line changes. So we will get Soper, Burkholder, Peters, Fogelman, and Burley out there. Trojans control the puck. Shot into the glove of Boynton Fisher. And I believe that's Ben Burley with a couple of extra shots at the end. No call. So the Reps will change up a couple players. The Trojans will leave their 5 out there. Burkholder and Soper will switch sides for the face-off. Face off, controlled by the Trojans, sent by the net. Burley's got it. Burley sends it in deep. Behind the goal line. Trojans come out with it, make a move. They go back to the point, stop, shot toward the net, deflected. Soper thought about stepping in and changed his mind. In the neutral zone, Trojans get it. Fogelman brings it right back in, shot toward the net. Into the glove of Boynton Fisher. And the shots on goal tighten it up at 9-15 in favor of the Bay Reps. Getting a little chippy out there. I think some emotions are starting to come into the game. And with Conaway and Klusterman back, we'll get Weaver, Davison, and I believe that's Beatty on the right wing. Face off. Controlled by the reps, sent around. Conaway on the boards, ties his man up. It comes out, but Klusterman's got time. He hit Davidson, who backed him up. Oh, Davidson with a cross-ice pass. Intercepted by the reps. Shot, they score. Oh. We tried to go hard east-west. One of the reps players read the play well, picked that puck off at the blue line, and 2-on-1 the reps walked in, and they score. So Conaway and Klusterman stay out there with Davison, Weaver, and Beatty. Face-off goes back to Conaway. Conaway goes up the boards, not out. Conaway gets it back. Conaway holds it, goes behind the net. Missed at the circle, glove down by the Trojans and out. Weaver hits Davison. Davison makes his own. Weaver just jumped off sides as Davidson made a move on the blue line. 11:55, second period. Trojans down by 2. Not what I was hoping to see here. So we'll get White and Harv out there with Blazak, Rodenroth, and Blake Davison. Trojans in their own end, control the puck, send it around. Rodenroth chips it out. Blazak holds at the line. Rodenroth brings it in, shot! Just over the glove of Boynton Fisher and out of play. Linesman goes to the scorekeeper for another puck. John Inns. Luke is playing for John Inns today, Luke Harvey. He couldn't make it to the game today, but he's watching. Thank you so much for your service, John. We appreciate you. Face off. Trojans in the neutral zone. Reps pick it up, dump it in. Behind the net, Harv sends it to White. White goes around. Harv takes a heck of a hit. Well, that was Rodenroth. Now the Trojans come out with it. Blazak, Rodenroth, and Blake Davison. Rod Burley's watching. He's down in Rockport, Texas. 70 degrees today. Oh, I should poke you in the eyes, Rod. We've had snowstorms, blizzard, and nothing above 30. All right, the Trojans press the play. The reps end up taking a penalty. And that will allow us to go on the power play. This is a big one. We need to get back in the game, and this is our chance. Shot up the boards, held in by the Trojans. Shot blocked. Soper with a rifling rebound. Number 6 from the reps, hurt bad. He is holding his arm up. Shot from the point, held on to by Boynton Fisher, And as the reps clear the net, the Trojans skate away. Annette and John Quillen watching in Ludington, Michigan. Thank you for tuning in. I'm 100% sure that my dad and my mom, Grandma and Grandpa Conaway, are watching in Surprise, Arizona. Face-off, controlled by the Trojans, kept in. Top of the circle, sent back to the point, intercepted by the reps. They come out 2-on-2, dump it in. Right on Kimbrell. It bounces out of his glove, and we have to clean it up. Weaver sends it across. Peters and who is that with him? Fogelman able to get it. Fogelman now comes out, drops it off for Peters. Peters looks, centering pass, shot! Just missing that. Soper dumps it back in. Peters misses the net high, near side. Davison keeps it in, shot across the middle. Soper will get that. Soper sets it up. He goes far side. Davidson tried to hit Peters. Peters with a backhand, thwarted. Behind the goal line. Trojans battle for it. Trojans get it. Soper steps in. Oh, great shot again. You got to give Boynton Fisher credit here. He has kept this game where it is. Soper with a shot. Center shot. We score! We score! Down by one. Traverse City with 34 seconds left in the power play. Let's go, Trojans! Some great pressure by the Trojans there. As well as Boynton Fisher has played, he could not keep that one out of the net, and the Trojans are within one with 9:23 in the second. Shots on goal now 16-14 in favor of the reps, but the Trojans picking it up. Trojans drive it out into the rep zone. Reps clear off a shoulder of a Trojan. Blake Davidson couldn't pick that up in the neutral zone. Conaway races around. He kicks it up with his foot. We send it around. Not out. Now we go back. Rodenroth hits Conaway on the far side. Conaway. Second effort. Conaway gets it out. Conaway battles. He gets plowed into the boards. But Conaway with a great effort to force that play allows the Trojans to set up. And now Klusterman brings it out. He gives it off to Rodenroth. Rodenroth toward the net. Now we got to back up as the reps pick it up. The next goal in this game is a huge one. White hits Klusterman. Klusterman takes a hit, gives puck back to White. White all the way back around to Klusterman. Klusterman looks, off the boards to White. White to Klusterman. Now Klusterman's got some time, but he goes back to White. White goes up, hits Fogelman. Fogelman curls. Fogelman able to hang on to that. He brings it through the neutral zone, keeps it in. The reps control the puck. They go east-west far side. White forces a dump in. Kimbrell plays it, leaves it behind the net. White thwarts off a check. Klusterman picks it up. He hit Fogelman. Fogelman hit Burley. Burley off to Peters. Peters behind the goal line. Can't control it. And now Soap with a shot just wide of the net. Picked up by Burley. Burley trying to get a shot. Couldn't do it. In front of the net. Graham Peters tries to reverse it. He looks. And the Trojan player gets pounded in the back at the last second, which stops the shot. Woo! A lot of pressure by your Trojans. That goal in the second fired them up. I knew it would be a good hockey game. We're a late team. And with 7:20 here in the second, we've tied the shots on goal at 16-16. Trojans are on fire after that goal. Face-off won by the Trojans. Back to the point. Shot toward the net. Blocked. Dumped in deep. Beatty races in. Forces the play. It comes up. Out. And we dump it right back in. Knocked out. It'll come into Trojan end. Trojans have to race in. Reps try to center. Burkholder pokes it off the stick. Reps pick it up. Now Trojans. Kept in right at the blue line by number 5 for the Reps. Off of Kimbrell's left leg. Sent up. Beatty. Beatty hit. Weaver makes a move. Shoot! Oh, what a save by Boynton Fisher on the outside! And with a late whistle, one of the Trojans came in and poked it out of Boynton Fisher's glove. He's all bent out of shape. He wanted the whistle quicker, and he's mad, but the ref blew it as quick as he could, but the players are taught, till you hear a whistle, keep playing. So Conaway and Klusterman back. Weaver, Davison, and that's got to be Fogelman up front. Face off. 1. Weaver dumps it in. Fogelman gets rubbed out on the boards, but Davidson picks up the puck. He curls, sends it toward the middle. The Reps fighting for the puck. 3 of them lose it. We've got it. They're looking at the point. They're going to turn around. Wow, the Reps are just pounding us physically now. Reps dump it in. Conaway's going to chase it behind the net off the boards. He's got to contend with 2 Reps players. Gives it off to his teammate. We get it out. Far side. Beatty dumps it for Rodenroth. Rodenroth centering pass. And that was Beatty just knocked off the puck. It comes back to Conaway. Conaway looks. Conaway's hard off the boards on the red line. Reps bring it right back out. Conaway dumps it in. Oh, Conaway was offsides. That was Blake Davidson and stepped in off the bench. Good hustle by both teams. Shots on goal, 17-17. 5:50 left in the second period. My cameraman Josh is getting into this game too. His head's bouncing up and down. He's going back and forth. I've told you before, especially last week, I'd rather lose by 1 than win by 10. This is a great hockey game, and this is what I love. All right, Reps have it in their end. Behind the goal line, they try to get it out. Not able. They give it up right in front of the net. Shot, backhanded, just over the net of Boynton Fisher. Reps send it out, not out. Kept it at the point by Harv. Harv dumps it in deep. Middle of the circle. Reps got a battle for it. Now they're going to come out in the near side by me. They go up, long pass. This will go all the way down to Kimbrell. He'll put a glove on it and get the whistle. 5:19 left, second period. 2-1, favor of the Reps. Shots on goal, 17-17. Now, that technically should have been a shot on Kimbrell because it came from the far end, makes it all the way down to the goalie, and if he stops it from going in, that's a shot on net. Face-off, controlled by the Trojans, up through the middle. Burley's got it. Burley looking. Burley dumps it in deep behind the net. Burkholder gets on a point. The Reps reverse it. They're looking. 2 men. Tag the Reps player. Reps able to get it out now. They dump it all the way down. Off of the stick of one of the Trojan players, no icing. Soper fights for that puck. He holds off 2 of the Reps players. He gets help now. They battle. And coming up to the point, kicked out by a foot. Burley's going to be the first man to the puck. He holds on. He's looking. He goes far side. Peter shoots inside. What are we getting a whistle for now? What was the whistle, Josh? The net's not off. We have possession of the puck. I have no idea what that whistle was for. All right, Blake Davidson will take this face off. Or was that Drew Davidson? Drew, that's Drew. Face off, controlled by the Reps. Dump behind the line. Trojans, first one to it. Send it toward the point. Back in. Centering pass. Nobody there. Klusterman backs up with Conaway in the middle of the ice. Conaway forces his player outside. Missed shot. Conaway can't dump it out. Second effort. Conaway gets it out. Conaway battles on the blue line for it, pins his man on the boards. He's backed up by Davison. Centering pass, shot toward Kimbrell into his pads. Steered aside, second effort. Kimbrell holds on, gets a whistle. Kimbrell playing great hockey today. I hear some of the fans on Let's Go Jace. He's been hot today. The two that got by him, one was a walk-in goal. I can't give him a hard time. That should have never happened. All right, face-off. Blazak back to the point. Cross, far side. Kept out. Knocked down by White. Puck control by the reps. Drove all the way behind our line. Harvey back to White. White hits Rodenroth. Rodenroth reverses it. And the Trojans able to get it out into the reps end. Rodenroth chases that down. Kept in at the red line by Blazak. Blazak hands it off to Blake Davidson. Blake Davidson back to the point. Shot toward the net. Backhander. Second effort by Boynton Fisher. Held on to, and he draws a whistle. Shots on goal. 19-19 in a 2-1 game. One-shot game. The next goal in this game is probably the winning team's goal. Face off. Control by the Trojans. Shot! We scored! We scored! Right off the face off! I just called it! The Trojan face-off man tipped it forward, got his own face-off, took a shot, the rebound on Fogelman's stick. Fogelman, marksman shot into the back of the net to tie this game with 3:15 left, second period. It's a brand new game, people. All right, Burley dumps it in deep, takes a hit when he does that. It's behind the goal line for the reps. Reps sniffing on that puck. Kept in by Burkholder. Burkholder toward the net. Wide. It goes to the circle. We maintain possession. Shot! Blocked. Burkholder races in. Reps dump it all the way down. There should be an icing. It is. They blow the whistle. It'll come all the way back. Woo! There is a lot of energy in this building right now. Let me see if I can get my cameraman to show the stands real quick. They're pretty much full. Both sides. And the mezzanine, and there's people all around the outside. All right, face-off. Controlled by the Trojans. Davison knocked off the puck. Kloosterman lost a foot coming down, but somehow got up. Drives the puck back in. Reps knock it out. And I think that was Conaway got crushed on the boards. He takes a check to the head. Looks like Conaway's all right. He's playing for Paul Herman, one of my Navy buddies from Belleville, Michigan. Took great care of me when I got out of the service, coaxed me into college, and to this day I owe him for his support. Thank you, Paul Herman. I'm so proud to have my son play with your name. All right, face-off, controlled by the Bay Reps. They bring it in our end. Conaway protecting the net. He steps off, picks up the puck, goes behind the net. Oh, Conaway's going to get a penalty for a high stick, battling behind the net. He hasn't been in the box in about 6 or 8 games, but wearing Herman's jersey, Herman's nickname was Hermbo. Wearing that jersey, it's probably hard not to end up in the box. So the Trojans will go back. Actually, they've got 22 up on, but it was 2 Conaway. Face off, controlled by the Trojans, sent around. We're able to clear it. down all the way to the goal line. Boynton Fisher sends it around. And with pressure, Davison, or is that Rodenroth, forced the play out. Reps able to get it in on sides now. Shot toward Kimbrell, in his glove, out of the net. And with a 1:27 left in Conaway's penalty, 1:37 left on the game clock for the period. Shots on goal, even 20-20. Game tied 2-2. You can't ask for a better hockey game. If I could write it down, this is how I would script it. All right, Reps win the face-off. Bring it back to the point. Far side shot. Blocked before it ever got to Kimbrell. We clear it all the way down. Boynton Fisher picks it up. Hands it off. We set up in a diamond. Blazak forces his man to the outside as they bring it in. Dump back to the point. Far side, middle, shot. Oh! Kimbrell with a, I thought he saw it, but he just didn't get his foot out there. And that one goes between his foot and the pipe into the net. And with 1:12 left in the second period, the Reps are up by 1 with the Conaway penalty. That hurts. So White and Har back, Rodenroth, Blazak, and Blake Davidson up front. Davidson sends it around behind the net. Nobody there to collect it. Reps come up with it. Shot for the point. Tip up into Kimbrell's pads. Rebound into the corner. Reps center it again. Shot toward Kimbrell. Luke Harvey gets to it. He chips it up off of one of the Reps' stick. No icing. Reps pick it up. Picked up by White, who gave the puck up in front of the net. Shot blocked. Back to the point for the Reps. Shot. Kimbrell. Blocker save. Kept in behind the goal line. Blazak battles for that puck. Chips it up. Reps. First one to the puck. Reps with some momentum. Oh! Blind shot. Kimbrell never saw that. Off his pad through 2 players' legs. Brought into the zone. Trojans not able to get a shot off. Into the corner behind the net. Reps send it all the way around. Out. Neutral zone. And the buzzer blows. I'm going to go try to get Coach Matucci.
To the Reps, he's an ex-NHL player and most of all my neighbor. Great guy. Mike, what do you think of this game so far? You're up by 1 on a power play goal. Hell of a game so far. You guys got the shot advantage right now, but what do you think about this game?
It's a great game. I mean, it's for a great cause, and the kids love it. It's tons of people here. It's just fun all the way around. It's fun to meet the veterans and talk to them a little bit, and hear their stories. I mean, we're lucky to have people like that, to make contact with people like that. It's awesome.
Coach, it's incredible. I got 4 of my Navy buddies up in the mezzanine up there watching. 2 in from Georgia, 2 from downstate. They love it. Cash is wearing 2 different jerseys. 2 other kids are wearing players' jerseys. The last time I talked to you, you were upset with your kids it was a check-in clinic with a puck on the ice.
Yeah.
This is great hockey today. I mean, your goalie, Boynton Fisher, is on fire. He's making NHL saves out there, and the kids are playing great hockey both sides. What do you see in the third period?
You know what? Just get back to what works for us. I mean, I think we got a little bit sideways in that period, and Tyler did bail us out a few times there. Yeah, definitely we could be down a few. So, we're kind of lucky to be in the spot we are. So just, let's play 1 shift at a time, work hard, and see what happens.
Coach, I know how precious your time is. Go talk to the boys. Yeah. Tell them what you got to tell them. I'll see you after the game.
Take care, Scott.
Thank you.
And we will start the third with Fogelman, Peters, and Burkholder, Soper back to Soper, Burley. Burkholder up, out, all the way down on Boynton Fisher into the corner. Brought out by the reps, into the neutral zone by the Trojans, sent to the far side. Puck off the boards through the crease. Kimbrell let it go into the middle. Davison picks that up. He sends it out far side. Trojans out of their own zone. Up to Weaver. Weaver toward the net. Shot! Off the pad of Boynton Fisher. Stopped in the crease. Face off, controlled by the Trojans, shot on Boynton Fisher, steered aside. Kuzman pinches in. Weaver drops his man. Shot, blocked. Who is that? Number 22, Drew Davidson. Puck ended up into the bench. We'll get a forward line change. And it looks like an aft line change also. Face off, controlled by the Trojans. Harv sends it up toward the point, kept in the middle. Reps pick it up. Rodenroth went down, centering pass, deflected all the way out into the neutral zone. Off the boards. Davison able to control, sends it back. Now it comes up, just out of the reach of White. White races back to get it. Behind the net, he hits Harv. Harv comes up the boards. And Davison sends it out. Shot! Just wide of the net. Kept in at the point by Harv. Harv dumps it deep. Comes to Blazak. Blazak sends it across. Shot toward the net. Just inside. Back behind the goal. Into the corner. Shot up. Kept in by Blazak. Toward the middle. Reps on their heels here, but able to keep it out of the net. They make the red line, dump it in. White picks it up, goes back to Harv. Burley loses it in the neutral zone. Now the reps get it in. But Soper picks that up, drives it out. Burkholder at the red line. Sends it deep into the rep zone. They knock it down, mishandle the puck. Burley pins his man, gets his stick ripped out of his hands, no call. So the reps are able to clear the zone, send it all the way down. This should be an icing. Graham Peters take this face off. Reps control, send it up to the point. Kept in by Burkholder. They battle for it. Reps get it out. Soper sends it right back in. We check up. Reps bring it through their zone into the middle. Dump it deep behind our goal line. Picked up by Burkholder. Burkholder reverses off the referee. Davison reverses, hits Soap. Soap checks up behind the net, pressured. Send it in the middle. Reps are going to get a shot off Kimbrell's glove. Second effort goes in the net. Well, that's less than optimal. The rebound picked up by the Reps. Popped at a couple of times. And into the back of the net over Kimbrell's glove. And it feels like an inner tube was just deflated on the left side of the rink. Kloosterman and Conaway back. Beatty. Davison and Conaway chases it back behind the goal line. He picks up the puck, reverses it, steps away from his man, skates, goes up the boards, not out, at the point, shot toward the net, steered aside by Kimbrell. Beatty not able to get it out. Conaway's got to get it again. Conaway with a move, sends it to the boards, far pass, off Beatty. This will miss the goalie and be an icing. 12:22, third period. Trojans with some work cut out for them. They need a couple here in the third quick. Face off, controlled by the Reps. They send it back. Pushed off the boards, puck reversed. Reps, first one there. Back to the side. They're going to get it below the circle. Rim it all the way around, drop to the point, shot toward the middle, picked off by Blazak, dumped all the way in. Blake Davidson chases that down. Evan Blazak drops his man off the puck. Trojans can't keep it in. Referee's got his arm in the air. I'm assuming this is on the Reps. Roughing call on the Reps player. No, I lied. It's on the Trojans. We touched the puck. The referees appear to be favoring the Reps in this game. Burkholder sends it around. Driven up. Peters forces the play. Reps come up with it. Peters back checks. Gets a shot in there on, that was Nolan Zazina. Shot at Kimbrell. Collected, held on to, and a whistle. So the face-off will be in the Trojan end. Won by the Reps. Back to the middle. Point by me. Shot toward the net. Goes inside, behind, and around. Out, and the Reps can't keep it in. We hit the neutral zone. And Drew Davidson, with a ton of pressure, keeps it in the neutral zone for about 10 seconds. 1:10 left in the penalty to the Trojans. We flick it around, sent up. Trojans make a hit, take a hit, able to get it out. I think that was Grant. It is Graham Peters. Took one, gave one, but able to get it out. Fogelman was going to get crushed as he dumped it in, got his arms up, and reverse checked the Bay Reps player. We're going to get a penalty on one of the Reps players. He took out Fogelman at the blue line. It was behind the play, so I missed the actual penalty, but that'll negate the power play for the reps. And after 37 seconds of 4-on-4, we will go to the power play. So I got Weaver, Kloosterman, Peters, and White out there. Four-on-4 with the reps for 37 seconds. And then we will have the advantage. Face-off, won by the reps, not out. Peters keeps it in, second effort by the reps, all the way down. It'll be an icing. Didn't really understand that. They're not behind yet. So that'll put a face-off right to the, it'll be to the right of Boynton Fisher. So we will have a late line change here. Ref giving our bench a little bit of trouble. Face off, controlled by the reps, into the corner. Trojans pick it up, quick shot toward the net, blocked. Reps come out. Through the neutral zone, 4-on-4. They make the zone, tipped off a stick, picked up. God bless America. What's the penalty now? What was it, Josh? Kloosterman's going to the box. I don't get this. So we will not go on the power play. The reps will be on the power play for 13 seconds. We'll go 4-on-4 for a minute 36, and then the reps will have the power play. Ugh. So the ref going to the bench to explain it to coach, and he's probably wants to shove a cork in the ref's mouth. Face off, controlled by the Trojans, sent all the way out and around. Reps in their end, head through the neutral zone. 4-on-4 hockey for a very short time here. Kimbrough with a save, glove on it, whistle.
Traverse City Central Trojans penalty. Number 4, Kelvin Gooseman. 2-minute minor for head contact. Time of the penalty, 7:05, third period.
So the face-off will be to the left of Kimbrough, 4-on-4. Won by the reps, back to the point. In the middle, shot, blocked. Evan Blazak with a great block there. At the point, shot in, tipped off a stick into the bench. We get a whistle. 9:26, third period. Trojans down by 2. They got to pick it up here. We need a goal quick. Reps win the face-off, back to the point. Dumped in deep, centering pass. Pass blocked by, I gotta look and see who that was. Again, these numbers are so hard to read. That was Soper, 18, with a great block. Out, across the middle, and Blazak with a second effort. Now the reps bring it back in. Shot, backhander toward Kimbrough, held on to, whistle. 33 seconds left on the 4-on-4. That will give the reps 24 seconds on the power play. Line changes made. Burkholder and Peters, Harvey, shot back to the point. Reps control this side point, far side point. Reps shoot, deflected off the backboards. Knocked down. We battle behind the net. In front, Kimbrough with a block. He looks at it, picked up by Graham Peters. Graham Peters goes far side out of the zone right in front of the Trojan bench. Reps come back in their own zone. Far side in front of their bench. Pick up the puck, make the red line. Blue line, onside. They check up, send it back to the point. He steps across. Shot, deflected. Never got to Kimbrough. Back to the point of the Reps. Reps to the near side point. Reps middle. Off a skate. Reps far side. We're even. Kimbrough hit him. Had no idea where it went. Into the corner. 4 players battle. Trojans come out with it. 3-on-3. We skate up. Centering pass intercepted. Now Xander Fogelman through the middle. 3 players on him. He can't get through. He brings it up the line. 1-on-1. Conaway, or that's White. White with a great play to stick it off. Fogelman tried to make a move. Reps read it. Fogelman pins his man on the boards. He's got 2 people backing him up, and the Trojans dump it deep. Blazak races in, forces the play. Reps come across the middle. Red line, blue line, they're in. Offsides! It is a shoot toward the net. Conaway stops that, tells the Reps player, and no late shots, and gives him a little cross check. So even strength, 6:56 left in the third. Trojans down by 2. We're going to need some serious offense in the next couple minutes. Trojans win the face-off. It comes around. Send it far side. Fogelman brings it in the onside, sends it back. Reps able to get it out. Fogelman's got a back check. And as the Reps pick up the puck, we get a whistle. I'm assuming it's a penalty on it is. On the Reps player. A hook. We will take it. So with 6:42, we go on the power play. We have never needed a goal as bad as we do right now. So Davison, Fogelman, Peters, Soper, and I believe that's Weaver. It is. Trojans control the face-off. Keep it in. Top of the circle. Not out by the Reps. They battle. They're tying up the puck. Davison pokes it out. What was the whistle for?
Helmet's off.
So one of the players' helmets was off. Right as we poked the puck loose, they blew the whistle for a helmet off. So this will be to the left of Boynton Fisher, controlled by the Reps, into the corner, but the Trojans pick it up. They go back to the point. Point steps in, goes far near side by me to Fogelman. Fogelman, middle of the circle, back to Fogelman, past him. Soper with a shot, deflected, not in, blocked. Trojans keep it in. Fogelman tried to center, his pass intercepted. Kimbrough picks it up, hits our player at the blue line. We come up with a head of steam. Fogelman dumps it in deep. The Reps able to get it around, but not out. Now the Reps send it all the way down, and Kimbrough's got to settle it down at the goal line. 52 seconds left in the penalty. Trojans with a long pass. Miss. Reps dump it right back in. Goes all the way around. Reps control the puck. Not our best power play ever. 35 seconds left. Beatty hits. Who is it? Fogelman. Fogelman off. Shot toward Boynton Fisher in his glove. He hangs on. We get a whistle. 26 seconds left in the power play. Blazak, Klusterman, Burley, Beatty. Face off, controlled by the Reps. Driven all the way down on Kimbrell. He leaves it for Klusterman behind the net. Klusterman comes out, moving fast. Goes far side, hits Burley. Burley gets it deep. We go into the corner, send it up, held on to by Blazak. Blazak through the middle, shoot! Just wide of the net, even strength. Bay Reps not able to get it out. We pick it up, kick it in. Still kept in at the blue line. Over to Klusterman. Klusterman steps in. Klusterman goes to Blazak. Up the boards. Klusterman with a hit. Now the Bay Reps pick it up. We check up. They go through the neutral zone. We intercept. That was to Klusterman. Klusterman hit Burkholder. Burkholder goes deep. He's behind the goal line, almost behind the net. He gets tied up. Second Bay Rep comes in. Fogelman with a forecheck. He takes the puck away. He sends it across. Shot! Doggone it! Right into the glove of Boynton Fisher, who has been on fire today. So on the back side, we will get Burkholder, Conaway up front. We're going to get Fogelman, Peters, and Burley. Fogelman with a shot, block. Conaway picks it up. Conaway steps in, misses, bounces over a stick. Conaway goes back, second effort. He ties his man up, gets in front of him, checks him off. Great play by Conaway to negate the man coming in. Conaway rides into the boards. It goes in front of Kimbrell. I think that, who is that? Burkholder's going to catch a charge here. Or Conaway again. What the hell? Conaway got a roughing call. I don't know if he talked bad about this referee's mama or what's going on, but compared to what Burkholder just did in front of the net, that was a soft call. But it is what it is. God bless America. Down by 2 on the penalty kill. 3:26 left. Reps win the face-off. Centering pass, thwarted. That one goes into the cheap seats.
Traverse City Central Trojans number 2, Cash Conaway. 2-minute minor for Robin. Time of the penalty, 15:34 third period.
Face off. Battle for. Picked up by the Reps. They try to hit the point. Second effort makes it to the point. Shot toward the net, deflected wide of the net. Reps pick it up at the circle. Spin around, go back, pass, thwarted. Off the glass, hard, all the way out. Red line. Reps pick it up. And the Trojans set up in a triangle or a diamond as the Reps bring it across the red line, blue line in. Back to the point. Far side, middle. Step in around Fogelman. Fogelman pressures, Point my side, shot toward Kimbrell. In his chest, he hangs on, gets a whistle. 54 seconds left in the penalty kill. Jace Kimbrell took a funny shot there. Maybe it was just in his jersey and he had to maneuver awkwardly to get it out. So the face-off will be to the right of Kimbrell, won by the Trojans. Berkey sends it around, not out, to the point, off the boards. Reps pick it up, shot toward the net, intercepted by Berkey, back to the boards. Backhander by Davison, I believe that was, out. Reps through the neutral zone, dump it deep, all the way around. Back to the point, middle. Top of the circle, shot toward the net, never made it. Trojans able to get it up, and as the rep player falls, tripped over the blue line, puck goes past him all the way down. 10 seconds left in this penalty kill for the Trojans. They send it out, we pick it up, and with 4 seconds left, Conaway will come out of the box as Graham Peters shoots it toward the net. Boynton Fisher gives it up. Peters powers through his man, and 3 players had to come in and help Peters. Oh! Burkholder's got it. He's going to shoot. Deflected wide of the net and up into the stands. Graham Peters, with a heck of an effort, got a shot off, gave us a rebound. Burkholder rifled one that was sticked aside, not a play. Somebody must have called a timeout. 1:10 left in the third. Trojans down by 2. Shots on goal 32-24 in favor of the Reps. First period was the Reps. Second period was the Trojans. And unfortunately, this third period's been the Reps.
All right, break out your 50-50 coupons. We got the winning ticket right here.
So the Trojans and the Reps head back to the ice.
If you have a match number, please come up to the jersey presentation at the end of the game. And the jackpot is over $500.
Soper, Weaver,
4, 4,
Kloosterman,
1, 3, 5.
Fogelman, and Peters out there.
4, 7, 1, 3, 5.
Face off. Controlled by the Reps. They send it around. And Kloosterman not able to keep that in with the Trojan net empty. Draws a whistle and a face off in the Reps end to the right of Boynton Fisher, my left. Again, Trojan net empty. Davison, number 6 out there, face off. Controlled by the Trojans. Centering pass up by Boynton Fisher over the net. Back to the point. Kloosterman's got it. Kloosterman trips. Kloosterman just able to get enough on the puck that the Reps couldn't control it, but it sent us all the way back into our own zone. Fogelman makes the blue line. He comes in, sends it back to Kloosterman. Kloosterman looks. Kloosterman goes far side. Shot toward the net. Wide. Boynton Fisher on his rear end. Players everywhere. Shot all the way down in the net. And the Reps come up with a shorty with 29.2 left in the period to make this a 5-2 game. And I had hopes for the comeback right up until now, but It would take a miracle on ice to pull off 3 and 29 seconds with the face-off in the middle.
There goal. Scores by number 6, Eddie Walter, unassisted. Time of goal, 16:31 in the third period. 5-2, Bay Red.
Trojans able to get it out into the neutral zone. Reps dump it right back in, and with 8 seconds left, that should be the end of this game. There's the buzzer.